Thicker picks are better than thin picks. That is a 4-1 victory over the over the freaking over the Philadelphia Flyers. Welcome back to Into the Den, everybody. I am your host, 100 Bex. Here for this is here for this end of the Twitter world edition of Into the Den. I'm not gonna lie, it's been like 5 minutes between takes. Frick. It's been like 5 minutes between shots. I forget where I was. I think it was at the end of Twitter. Long story short, Elon Musk is the worst CEO of all time, I think. Yeah, I think it's fair to say that Elon Musk is the worst CEO of all time. Anyway, we start this game. We come into this game with not too many questions, except for one that I feel like a lot of people who are on Twitter have been asking, and that's the question of Brandon Carlo. Damn good defenseman. I'm not going to deny that. I've come around on him. I think that Brandon Carlo has worked his way into this role, into his role of the defense perfectly. And this season so far, he's been playing pretty well. I think that he's been playing really well. I think that honestly, we should try and find out what we can get for him at the deadline. Problems with this. If we don't get a starter on defense in return, we're pretty much down to 5 defensemen. We're pretty much down to like 5 defensemen. We've got Lindholm, McAvoy, Grzelcyk, Zaboral, and who's the last one? Clifton. Forgot about Clifton. Frick. Yeah, we're down to Lindholm, McAvoy, Grzelcyk, Clifton, and Zaboral. And the last one is always, and the last person on the, and the last this guy in our defense is always some sort of pylon. If none of those top guys are playing, if none of those first 5 are playing, and Carlo is, or if Carlo is not playing. Like Strawman, I don't trust him. I don't trust Strawman as far as I can throw. Same thing with Mike Riley. And you might, and that's not me picking on their weight. That's me picking on my ability to bench press. I can only bench press like 65. Yeah, I know. I know. I'm a freaking twink. Anyway, the thing that made me laugh going into this game was Rasmus Ristolainen on the third pair of Philly, which, oh boy, what a grand time this is, paying $5 million per year for 5 years for a defenseman that you're just gonna have to slot into the third pair because he's so maddeningly inconsistent. Enough about someone who even for as inconsistent as he is still is. I can't really bitch about talent because I mean, look at me. Can't really. I can barely even skate. I am a failure among Massachusetts. And the first thing that I noticed is that these Bruins look like garbage. Absolute garbage. This might be one of the worst openings to a game that we've had so far. Except somehow the Flyers are just messing up just enough to keep the game scoreless heading into the first intermission. The Bruins get outworked pretty much on all sides of the game. Cates ends up getting a really nice breakaway because we suck in the neutral zone. We completely overcommit to one side, and he's just there with no one with absolute daylight ahead of him. is that Linus Ullmark played his ass off tonight. Is that he needed to. Look, I always love it when a goalie goes absolute Superman on someone and is just flying around the creek. He's catching this one, that one, that one. But it's something you have to recognize that all of these that the goalie has to make these insane saves because the defense isn't doing their job in keeping the puck away. That was my feeling throughout the entire first period. There was that 2 seconds of a 4-on-4 that we got because the Flyers took a too many men on the ice penalty. That is one thing I like about the Bruins. That is one thing I like about the Bruins this year, although that's mostly because of the stupidity of their opponents. We've been getting a lot. The other teams have been getting a lot of bench penalties and delay of games against us, which is just hilarious. But anyway, after DeBrusk's penalty ends up getting killed, Marchand has a pretty nice wraparound that just gets foiled. Carter Hart makes one of the primo stops of the game, completely pretty much trapping the puck against the side post, and then into the inside of his legs. Anyway, the second period starts and Monty, and I'm pretty sure Monty during intermission and was like, "Did you guys forget that there's a game tonight? Like, check your watches. It's game time. It's game time. It's game time, dummies." And the Bruins were like, "Oh yeah, there's a game tonight." And it was just like someone lit a fire under their asses, and because you got especially with that first goal, about like halfway through the second period, with friggin' Hampus Lindholm getting a beautiful entry, and then Pavel Zacha taking a loose puck, passing it to Tomáš Nosek, passing it to Nick Foligno, who does a wraparound while Carter Hart is still trying to find, like, where the hell is the puck? Where is the puck? He wraps it around to Tomáš Nosek so that when Hart realizes, oh shoot, the puck's over there, he's flopping on the floor. Nosek just chips it up for his second goal in 2 games to open up the floodgates for the Bruins. Taking a late slashing penalty. That's something that honestly I really don't like to see, is because even though yes, it means that you're starting at the third period on the penalty kill, and our penalty kill is amazing, and usually you want the other team to start in like the neutral zone or their own zone, rather than in your zone, or you want to make sure that they don't like keep it in your zone for 2 minutes straight. But at the same time, I feel like at the same time, if you start on the penalty kill in the start of a period, and you kind of set yourself up to start like the first 10 minutes or so, to start at the first 5 or 10 minutes, and it's completely behind the 8 ball. Well, I mean, sure, the Bruins are not the Leafs. We don't play the game in 10-minute chunks, but that's still kind of not really great. But it doesn't matter because we killed that and a Max Will and an interference call that Ullmark gets, but is to be served by Taylor Hall, or I forget if it was served by Taylor Hall, if it was just a penalty served by Taylor Hall, or if Taylor Hall was actually the one that committed the interference. Either way, the Bruins are on the penalty kill, and we end up killing it. It doesn't matter who gets it's the 2 penalty minutes. It just matters that the 2 penalty minutes are gone. And meanwhile, Max Willman ends up going for high sticking, I think, on McAvoy. so the Bruins are finally on the power play for the first time since the start of the second period, and just I love David Pastrnak as a goal scorer, but him as setting up an assist. Oh my God. I have no idea how fun it is to see David Pastrnak just wind up for a shot, and he just intentionally sets it wide to throw everybody off, and it allows Jake DeBrusk to just tap it through Carter Hart's 5-hole, put the Bruins up 2-0. A little bit afterwards, Charlie McAvoy goes for interference. I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't really impressed with McAvoy's game tonight. I think that it isn't the worst thing that McAvoy came back ahead of schedule, but it's definitely not the best thing either. This isn't something like Marchand coming back to. This isn't something like Marchand coming back like 3 weeks ahead of schedule, and oh my God, he's a massive impact on the ice. No, this feels like you definitely kept him up. You definitely took him off IR a little bit too early on this one. Philly would end up getting their only goal on the night with an Owen Tippett slap shot from the slapper from the top of the face-off circles, pretty much immediately off the face-off. Like the Bruins definitely felt a little bit discombobulated on that one, and Owen Tippett just completely took advantage of it. Who cares about that when Pavel Zacha just completely bullies the puck away from a Flyers defenseman and manages to get it to open space where he's right in David Krejci's line of skating, and just this was the game that David Krejci needed. This was David Krejci. If he did not have this game, then I don't know what his confidence would be. But David Krejci just takes the puck in open space and just manages to get it past Carter Hart to put the Bruins up 3-1 just 16 seconds after Philly scores there. Last 5 minutes, and Ivan Provorov ends up going for tripping, and David Krejci again, amazing. I love it. A 2-goal game for old man Krejci is just incredible. And Foligno with the assist was just how? Like, I think it was Pavel Zacha that Pavel Zacha tries to get it to Foligno for this exact setup, but he sets it a little bit wide for Foligno, and Foligno just Yever takes he pretty much just like judo throws the puck to the other side of the ice for Craig. Dude really just said yeah, and it worked to get the Bruins up 4-1 in this game and put the game away. But it also ended up being Nick Foligno's 300th assist. His 2 points in tonight's game. Foligno ends up getting up to 9 points on the season, and he's shaping up to be a lot better than he was last season. And I think that this might be. Now, I don't think that this is going to be the Foligno that we saw in Columbus or in freaking Ottawa. This isn't going to be. This isn't going to be like the. We're not going to see him return to like 20 goals. Well, 20 goals in the season, or that one season where he got 31. But this is promising play from him, especially because he's at 9 points already, and he's like a +5 or 6. By the way, speaking of plus minus, add another game to Hampus Lindholm's streak of not having a minus game as a That reminds me. How much are Hampus Lindholm jerseys? Because let's face, 170, 174, 154. Wow. It's surprising that those those jerseys are not as expensive as they should be, because they should be a lot more expensive, because he's amazing. Nick Hampus Lindholm is an amazing defenseman, and it is just staggering how we have him on such a low cap, on like a sort of negligible cap. One for $6.5 million a year for the next 8 years. I don't think that he's going to keep this up until into his age 36 season, but this is promising. This is promising, and him being next to McAvoy. Oh my God! In this game, they got Chicago next. They got Chicago on Saturday, and then we enter the gauntlet. We got Tampa, we got Florida, we got Carolina, we got we got Colorado twice, and we got Vegas twice. And then if you look closely at the schedule, you see Arizona. Just happy to be there. Anyway, that is going to do it for tonight's episode. Thank you all so much for watching. Quick like if you like. Click subscribe if you really like. Up there is my most recent video. And down below, tell me what you guys are going to miss about Twitter. It's probably not going to be anything, but tell me what you guys are going to miss about Twitter. And I'll see you guys on Saturday. Take care.